Is good, everyone. This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. And I'm back with another incredible guest. So sit back, relax, and stay tuned in. My next guest is a school counselor who works on a mental health team serving children and youth. She is also the author of The Pain in My Belly. Please welcome Leila Perkins. Leila, welcome to the show.
Hello, Deanne. Great. Nice to meet you.
Well,
Nice
please
to be here.
yes, nice to have you here. Please tell the audience where you're joining us from.
Moncton, New Brunswick.
And that is
Yeah,
in Canada, correct?
it is. It is.
I,
Absolutely.
I actually think I've been there. I used to, in my
Okay.
previous life, I used to travel all over Canada. We had three warehouses up there.
Yeah.
And I always like to tell people from Canada, when I visited, you were the most friendliest country or wherever just the friendliest. Like no one ever, when you do I don't know if you've ever done sales, but you do a cold call, you walk into somewhere here in the US, people are usually like
Mhm.
giving you the eye. When
Yeah.
we'd go anywhere, we'd walk into somewhere in Canada, people, it would be like they asked us, it was almost like they wanted to ask if we want a sandwich and a soda.
Yeah. I believe it. Absolutely believe that. Yeah,
Well,
for
I
sure.
digress. So let's dive into a little bit about you and your background. So I love that you work on a mental health team, or I know that you've said it shifted a little bit for you, but serving children
Yeah.
and youth.
Yeah.
Why was that your focus?
Well, I just feel it's such a purpose to it's the next generation, right? I mean, children are everything.
Yeah.
Children, without children, we don't have a future as humankind. We have nothing. So investing in their lives and trying to help them and guide them, that's going to make the world a better place. It sounds like a cliche, but
No.
it's the absolute truth. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not when there's so many people out there battling mental health issues.
Mhm,
I feel
mhm.
it is more prevalent today than ever before. I've been around on this planet for quite a while, and when growing up, you didn't see the issues that we see today.
Yes. For sure, for sure. And I mean, my two daughters are all grown up now, and we all struggle. We all struggle in one way or another, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whatever it is. I
Yeah.
mean, we all have struggles in our own lives, and it affects us physically. It can make us
Yeah.
ill, it can make us sick, and we don't always know why we feel that way. And especially kids, they don't have that ability to recognize that. So all they know is their tummy hurts, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess that's a great segue into what was the inspiration behind your book, The Pain in My Belly. So
Yeah.
where did that come from?
Well, as I said, my kids are all grown up now, but when they were younger, that was often the thing that would happen. They would get a pain in their belly, they would feel sick, and sometimes you want to think, okay, that they're just faking it. They don't want to
Yeah.
go to school, but it would actually be physical illness. And it was stemmed from anxiety or stress or whatever it was that was going on in their lives, whether it was with friends or whether it was something at school that they were having a hard time with. It was based in reality, right? So it wasn't like a way to get out of school. It was an actual illness that was it was like an anxiety that was being manifested as an illness.
Sure. And
Yeah.
so Inception, so you like this was you when they were younger, but this is you just release how long ago did you release this book?
It would have been just this in the past year.
Oh, okay. So fairly new.
Yeah. But I got the inspiration as well when I was doing my play therapy training.
Okay.
A wonderful lady in Pictou, Nova Scotia, Teresa Fraser, who owns and founded Maritime Play Therapy. She trains people on Zoom meetings all over the world.
Oh, wow.
And one of the courses that I was taking in 2023, 2024 was bibliotherapy and play therapy. So the use of books as a healing tool along with play therapy to help kids. So we had to, for
So
an
before you go any
assignment,
further, what exactly is that? Can you like
play
educate us a little
therapy.
bit? Yeah.
Play therapy is using toys and tools as a means of healing for children to work through their problems. So, if you go back through history, it started with Margaret Lowenfield, Virginia Axline, um, Anna Freud. A lot of
Okay.
these people founded it, and it can be used with any group, any age group today. And so, like as I'm going to quote Gary Landreth, who's a a present day play therapist. He said the toys are the words and the play is the language. So when they use the toys, they're expressing themselves. They're
Yeah,
expressing their problems, they're expressing what's going on, whether or
sure.
not they realize it or not, right? So just being there as an attuned adult and watching what they're doing and reflecting their feelings and what they're doing and saying, oh, you're putting that there. That's like child-centered play therapy. And so you have bibliotherapy, which is the use of books for healing. You can use that as a means of helping children along with the play therapy. Like maybe you're going to get them to do the book first with them, and then puppets, get them to act
Yeah,
out, how they to solve the problem with the puppets or things like that, or build in the sand tray.
yeah.
There's different ways you can pair it up, but yeah,
Is
that
it
was
is
where
it
my
really
idea.
effective? Is it effective?
It is very effective in healing
Yeah.
trauma. Yeah.
Wow. And then how young, I know we're kind of getting a little off course here, but
Yeah.
how young are the children that this works with?
It can work with toddlers. It can
Okay.
work with, if you're going to do some, like I'm not like a theraplay expert, which is more attachment stuff, but you can work with parents and children on attachment, babies or children with attachment,
Wow.
to help improve the attachment. And that's a specialized area of
Sure.
play therapy.
I'm
Yeah.
blowing my mind right now. This is
Yeah.
fascinating. So
Yeah.
how many therapists utilize this? Um, I mean, it's not a resource. It's like a
Mhm.
tool, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot, but there could always be more. And there was
Sure.
a lack of training for a while because you had to go to Ontario, which was very costly, and take
Yeah.
time out of your work, which is loss of wages, and go up. And they're so huge. But now we have Teresa Fraser, and she
Sure.
is so great. I mean, yeah, you can get your training with her online.
Very cool. Okay,
Yeah,
now let's refocus. Get back to you were going through this training, and then
yeah,
where the book was started in the
yeah,
inception.
yeah. So we had to write a book that was going to be useful, going to be
Okay.
helpful to children, and I started thinking about emotions and started thinking about my own kids and you know my experiences
Sure.
and in my job, and I just felt this was what I wanted to do because children are they're affected by family illness, they're affected by
Yeah.
divorce, they're affected by you know bullying, they're affected by a lot of different things, and it manifests itself in the physical, like headaches, tummy aches, lack of sleep,
Stress, like for adults.
nightmares, yeah, all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
right? And they don't know how to deal with it. So they need that other adult to co-regulate with them. They need that other adult that's present, attuned, and calm, and can understand and express that understanding to them and acceptance,
Yeah.
so that they can calm their nervous system down. We call that co-regulation, which was a term that was I guess it would. My mind is going blank, but it's not my idea. But it comes out of a lot of work that's been done in the area of educational psychology, where the effects of the social interaction on learning.
Sure.
So that was where the term had come from, but it comes out of also polyvagal theory, like the nervous system and how the nervous system is affected by other people around us. So if you
Yeah.
want to really take a deep dive into that, look
Ooh.
at that and look at Bowlby's attachment theories and how people are affected by the caregivers and by how the adults will interact with you, how it affects you. So if you've got like a child that's yelling and crying and really dysregulated, they can't calm themselves down. They don't have that ability. Their nervous system cannot do that. They need the adult to say, okay, you're going to be all right.
Well, yeah, I mean that's just like what we're supposed to do as like a parent, right?
Yeah. But it depends on the situation. There's some adults that are triggered by that. If their child's crying, they may be triggered.
Oh,
And
yikes.
it's sometimes supposed to be a natural thing, but depending on the situation, it may not always be a natural thing for that person to calm them down. Maybe they want to punish them. They're screaming, especially if they're screaming and they're out of control, right? So in some cases, that's the case because some kids, they just can't regulate themselves. It comes across as anger, but it's stress. It's
Yeah.
anxiety,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that the parent that is not able to calm and co-regulate their child
Mhm.
probably has some
Mhm.
stuff they need to work on too. Like if they're getting
Correct.
triggered,
Yeah.
they probably should have had a
Correct.
baby or had a kid that they couldn't take care of.
Correct, correct. Like,
I
and
mean,
again, that's a learning piece, right? That's
yeah,
something that people can learn, and that's, that's helpful to have somebody that can kind of guide them or coach them on how to respond in the right way. That's going to be helpful to that child. But it's not just the parents. It's your surroundings at school or wherever your daycare. The adults there are like they're the parents in that situation. They're
sure.
standing in
Yeah.
the place of the parent. So you have to be able to regulate yourself as an
Yeah.
adult so that you can regulate those kids around you.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
'cause
it's
that's
not going to.
more like emotional intelligence, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, it has an effect, a total effect on how you. And again, it works the other way too, because we
Sure.
all been in situations where your friends heightened and this happened to them, and they're telling you, and you're all worked up, and you're ready to go out and bang
Oh
some
yeah,
heads
I'm a total
together.
empath. I'm a total empath. Like I have to like really protect my surroundings because I can
Yeah.
really absorb those negative feelings
Yes.
like very easily. And even though at my age, which most people know my age, I'm not going to tell you if you don't know, but even at my age, I haven't learned to like really protect myself. Like I can
Yes.
really like,
Yeah.
and I like to
It's
be
hard.
very happy. I like to be very positive. Like it takes a
Yeah.
lot for me to
Yeah.
like just go over the edge. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
being an empath and the negative energy and those emotions around you is
I
can
hear you,
be
sister.
tough to, yeah.
I
Oh,
am
I bet.
too.
I bet. Okay, well, like get back to the book. So you went through all this. Your kids had feel like it manifested in physical
Yes.
ailments, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah. So I was thinking of a situation, like, situations that could happen, right? To somebody of that age, like a young child, and just, how would that be for them? You have to
Yeah.
almost think like a kid, which isn't hard for me. I'm going to be 61 in
You
December,
look
and I
fabulous. Look at your skin. Oh
thank
my
you,
goodness.
but I can still feel what it's like to be a child, and I think that helps me in my work. I
Yeah.
do have that empathy. I'm like you, like I have that ability to feel energy from people. And yeah, I do sense what it's like to be a child, I can put myself in their shoes very easily. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
I think it
beautiful.
helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, clearly that's you're doing what you're supposed to be doing if that's how
Yeah.
you're naturally are how you naturally are, with them. So that's good.
Yeah.
And so this
Yeah.
book, is this for you, did you write it because of what you do or for parents or what did you intend for it to be useful for?
Any way that people can use it, like whether it's teachers, whether
Okay.
it's a counselor, a therapist, whether it's a child,
Okay.
a parent. It would be
Yeah.
very good for parents because you've got so much in that book, like it's in terms of you've got people co-parenting.
Sure.
You've got a couple who are no longer together. It's implied, right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of implied
Yeah.
because he's going to pick her up for the weekend. The dad is, right,
Yeah.
but he's at the hospital with mom looking after her during the day.
Sure. Okay.
So that tells us that there is a very positive co-parenting
Yeah.
structure there
That is
for
very
that
positive.
child, right?
Yeah.
So regardless of the differences, they both have this child, and they're doing what they can for her, right?
Sure.
I also included a caregiver, but I did not give her a role. I'm like you, I don't like labels.
Yeah.
I like to keep it like you want kids to be able to make inferences. That's a higher
Yeah.
order thinking, right?
Yeah.
To be able to read between the lines. And, for one child, she's a caregiver, she's a nanny, she's for somebody else, she's mom's partner. She
Right.
could be mom's partner. She
Oh,
could be a stepmom. She could be an aunt. She
yeah.
could be any of those things. And I specifically put it that way so that it would be open to interpretation and meet the
Yeah.
needs of where kids are at,
What a
in
great
their life.
way to not to deprogram the narrative,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah, and I really wanted that for the book because I tend to be a very inclusive and I don't like being pigeonholed about this is going to be the way that person is, or
Yeah.
it's got to be very, you know, very open-ended.
Yeah. And so the age range for the book specifically, would you say?
I would say, depending upon the reading level, like I would say kids from 7 or 8 could probably read it on their own.
Okay.
Um, Younger than that, depending on, like, again, depending on their ability, they would probably need a teacher. A teacher could do the book with them
Sure.
and kind of walk through the emotions and get them to kind of talk about at times where they felt that way, or, you know, kind of get them to talk about their feelings,
Yeah.
by relating to the character in the book, being able
Yeah.
to identify with the character
Yeah.
and her
Now,
situations.
is the book meant to be kind of like a roadmap for kids that are dealing with stress, like creating
Yeah,
these ailments in their body?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay. So it's
I want
specifically
it to
for that.
be, I wanted it to be something that the kids could relate to.
Yeah.
And so kind of gives it a voice in the sense that, and with bibliotherapy, the nice thing about it is it distances them from the problem. They're able to identify with the character. They
Yeah.
see the problem, but they're not in the problem. They're even though they've had that problem, it distances them from that,
Yeah.
which is kind of neat and gives them a chance to normalize feelings and all of that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Kind of allows them
Yeah,
to make them feel like they're not
yeah,
alone in whatever they're
yeah,
dealing with and trying to
yeah.
understand with themselves and with life in general.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And so do you
Yeah,
use this in where you are as a counselor?
I am going to be using it this year, more so, because it just get printed within the past year.
Congratulations.
Good, thank you. I am going to be using it in my school that I work in, and probably in my small groups. I'm hoping to use it quite a bit. Um, yeah, I feel like it's, as you get older too, you want to. I sound so melodramatic when I say this. You want to leave something behind, right? Like you
Absolutely.
think about the next 10 years. Like when I'm like hitting 60 was a huge thing for me. And when I think about the next 10 years, I think, you know what? What am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna leave? Not that I'm planning on
Leave your
leaving.
legacy. Yes, you got to live your so my mom always used to say live your legend. Live your, you
Yeah,
have to live your legacy. And so
yeah,
for some people it starts earlier, some people it starts in the middle, some people it starts
yeah,
later. So
yeah.
like that I think that's beautiful though. There's nothing wrong with
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. But my greatest legacy are my kids. I'm so
Well,
proud of them.
yes, amen to that. I don't have any, so but that would have been a great thing for me, but I
Yeah.
will live vicariously through other people. And
But you know
so,
what? You contribute, I'm sure, through your life in just equally. Like we
oh
all have
gosh.
gifts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
try every day. And so
Yeah.
now when people are interested, parents, counselors, therapists are interested in
Mhm.
purchasing the book, where can they find it? Where can they
They
support
can
you?
they can find it on Amazon.
Okay,
Amazon. And yeah, Ellie Perkins, The Pain in My Belly. And that,
perfect.
just plug that in and they'll be able to purchase my book.
Excellent. And then do you have a website, any social media? Like, do you have anywhere people can connect with you besides purchasing the book?
Um, that's a good question. I know I do have those things, but I'm not very techy.
Okay. No
And I'm
worries.
just being honest with you. I'm just
No.
being completely honest.
Well, she does have a website, you guys. I will include the link to Amazon for her book and a link to her website. So in the show notes and here on the screen, if you're watching, go click the links, go follow, go purchase the book if you know of someone that could utilize this in a very positive way to help their child just navigate through those feelings that we all experience throughout our life. So go ahead and support her. And I'm sure she'd be happy to hear from you if you have any questions. Uh, Leila, this is the part of the show where I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
The best advice I could give is to be present.
Mm,
Be present with the kids that you work with, the kids that you live with, the kids that you work with. Just be there with them. You don't even have to have words. If they're dysregulated, if they're struggling, just being there in that moment, being like a calming
Yes.
person,
Calm.
just being a calming presence with
Yeah,
them.
that's the
That's
key thing right there.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That was beautiful. And I think that's very powerful too, because in a world where we're also caught up in I think we're just so self-involved, even
Hmm.
as
Yeah,
parents, that
absolutely.
we forget to be like selfless when it
Hmm.
comes to our children or to other people that we love and care about. And
Yeah,
I think that's where a lot of this mental health, these mental health issues, and not
absolutely.
this inability to deal with our emotions comes from, because we don't know where to put it if someone's not loving us and trying
Yeah.
to be there, be present for us. So
Yeah.
that was beautiful words. Leila, what an incredible book. I hope that you make lots of differences in children's lives and help them
Thank you.
identify what's happening, and allow those parents or those counselors to use it in a very positive way. So thank you very much for sharing that with us today.
Thank you so much, Dina Marie. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.